Our next guest has a thirst for adventure and great local flavor. Daniel Seddiqui is back with a brand new book, Drinking Up the Pacific Northwest, exploring the stories, people, and drinks that define our region. Welcome, Daniel. Great to see you.
You too.
You're known to be like the most traveled man in the world. How did you get this reputation?
Yeah, traveling means a lot to me. It's about breaking up the every day, and the anticipation and expectation of change is how I define it. So when I travel, I'm expecting my perspective to change, my mood to change, getting experiences under my belt. And I started actually 17 years ago, and I was covered by King 5 back in 2008.
Welcome back, by the way.
And it went viral. It was like back in those days, that's what viral meant, when you were wired to different stations around the country. And I was like, okay, I guess this is meaningful for me. And
when you've traveled the U.S. 25 times over, so should we give people context to why we're saying that?
Yeah, a lot. Wow. 25 times minimum each state. So I'm, you could say, obsessed with traveling and learning about people and getting new experiences and writing books.
There's a lot of wonderful places around the country. What inspired you to write this one, Drinking Up the Pacific Northwest?
Well, the Northwest, in my opinion, is the most beautiful in terms of the nature, but it's also known for the beverage belt, is what I call it, because you got pressing, brewing,
everybody knows coffee and wine, but our drink culture is a thing.
Yeah, you got coffee, wine, kombucha, beer. Bend, where I live, Bend, Oregon.
Hey,
you got ciders.
That's where my parents are right now.
You got ciders in all of Washington. So I wanted to call it the beverage belt, and for people all across the country who are reading this book to learn about this region, not just for its nature, but also because of the industry.
Yeah. Well, you talk about, we got a robust one, so how do you decide what to feature, what drinks, what places, what people?
So the theme of this series that I wrote is about hands-on immersive travel, and so you could take lessons on and also make things. So you can make, for one of the books I did Music of the South, so you can make songs or write songs, you can make instruments, learn how to dance. For this one, it's about the beverages, so you can learn how the brewing process works. You can learn about fermenting, all sorts of things.
Speaking of which, you brought kombucha with you.
Yeah.
What did you discover about this drink?
Well, it's like a 1,000-year-old drink.
Yeah.
But
for
it
gut
was
health.
Popularized in Portland, Oregon, and some of the biggest brands in the world are based in Portland.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of, I can't believe I'm admitting this, but I don't drink alcohol, I don't drink coffee or kombucha, but I wrote a book about beverages.
Hey, that's fair. I don't drink alcohol, I love coffee, and I love kombucha. This is a great substitution. So this is just one of the things that you're discovering. What are some of the lessons that you've learned from the road? I mean, it's intimidating to say that you've traveled the country 25 times minimum.
Yeah.
What are some of the lessons you've learned along the
I've
way?
reflected a lot on the lessons, and you know, the people that you meet can create your destiny.
Absolutely.
But they also don't choose the end of the road for you. Like if I get rejected by an employer, that doesn't mean they're going to choose my destiny for me, but they might redirect me on a new path. Or being in a relationship, you know, if someone leaves you, that changes your life, but it's not the end of your life, you know. So just also working with purpose. You know, I like to say a toy of a battery will always be recharged if it's useful. So I try to find purpose whenever I travel. Every time I go to a different state or a new state, I go in with a different mission in mind. So my first journey ever was 50 jobs in 50 states during the recession. So I got a chance to be a logger in Oregon, made cheese in Wisconsin, worked on a lobster boat in Maine, coal mine in West Virginia. And so that's kind of what started it. And then the curiosity kept growing and growing as I was traveling and meeting different types of people and just learning from them. And that's what inspired me to continue this path of discovery.
I love guidebooks, I love pro tips and hacks and all of these things. In every section you have called While You Were Here. Why was that something that you thought was important?
Because there's things that you shouldn't miss. Even though it's not part of the theme of the book, like the beverage, I think you still should immerse into the culture, not just the industries, but just the way of life. And so Seattle is very interesting. It's got some of the best music scenes. The ferry, you got to take the ferry and go to the San Juan Islands, for instance. I mean, there's a lot to see.
Did this whole process in making this sort of change the way that you look at the Northwest?
Not necessarily. Every time I come here, it's pretty cloudy. That doesn't change, but
That's good marketing.
Yeah.
We want people to believe that. You know?
yeah. And same with Oregon too.
Right.
But yeah, no. Every time I go to the state again, I have a different experience, and so I never judge a state or a city by my first time experience. I go back and it's a whole new thing, new perspective.
Well, this is a very exciting. This is special for you to be bringing this by with us. You've been all around the country. He wrote a book about our backyard. That's a pretty special thing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
In fact, we should make sure that folks know that you're going to be, Daniel will be at Elliott Bay Book Company tonight, 7 o'clock. He's going to be chatting about his travels. Who knows what you'll be drinking tonight? Could be coffee, could be kombucha. Well, we know it's not coffee for you.
Right.
But you're going to find all the details on Elliott Bay's website.